What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the King Kloudz channel, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build yourself a gaming computer for under 500 bucks. Let's get it. One thing I want to say before we begin is that this is for anyone that is just looking to even get into gaming, do any video editing. This is something anyone can do, and it's super affordable. Anyone can do it, and I'm going to show you how I've messed up along the way. I'm going to also tell you about that as well. Stay tuned. Alright guys, now you may be thinking just like me, what goes into building a gaming PC? I don't know about the gigahertz and all of this stuff. I just know the bare minimums, let's say, right? So I wanted to break it down into having most of the labor done for me and using as minimal knowledge as possible. So I kind of broke it down into 3 things for the gaming PC. One is I gotta check my notes. It broke down to I needed a processor. I needed something to be able to handle the games. You know, they're like 100 gigabytes, and you know, you needed some kind of RAM, and then you needed a hard drive to put this on. Taking all that into account, one of the first things I got, which I'll put up on the screen right here, is this Dell Optiplex. It had the motherboard, it had the RAM, it had a 1 terabyte hard drive, and it came in a case. And it had an i7 3770 processor. So in my research, you know, it was a nice sweet point, keeping the price low and having decent performance for what I'm gonna get out of it. I went on eBay again, found a graphics card. I'm gonna put that up on the screen right here. And what you'll see is the price of this graphics card at $110 is roughly over like a third of the price of the Dell that I bought right here, which is $260. That's where I spent the money. Now you see where most of the labor came into work was buying the Dell processor in place, hard drive in place, operating system in place. Just need to plug it in and it works. The graphics card was really the only added piece that I had to. But now that I have all the pieces, I got all the things I need to make it up and run, throw it on, have some games play, here's where things get tricky. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so what I'm going to show you now is how everything came together and how all of my lack of research ended up causing a wee bit of a headache. This is the Dell Optiplex 9010 MT. This right here is my graphics card. That is the AMD Radeon RX 580 GTRS overclocked edition, 8 gigabytes. That's what I got off of eBay for $110. I'll put that on the screen here. But look at this bad boy. Dual fan, beefy XFS, 8-pin power plug, 1 HDMI port. These other 3, I don't know what they are. I don't care. I don't need them, right? You know, this is simple. I'm not a computer techie. You can already see before I put this in just how massive that graphics card is. Just the housing alone, right? So let's take a look inside. Pop this bad boy open. Here's where the massacre happened. So this is the power supply. The standard, you know, power supply that came with the Dell Optiplex. That was sitting right up here somewhere. You had the hard drive in here, the CD or DVD player drive in there. You know, you had this is not the fan that was in it. You had the front I/O, the motherboard. So when this was, here I'll show you. When this was in here, like so, all right, the wires are sitting there like that. And the motherboard would sit right here in the middle. This is 16 gigabytes of RAM. These were sitting right here. Now, if you can see, I'm not sure which camera, but this is where the motherboard was. You have 4 sticks of RAM spaced out, okay? The graphics card had to come in right here. As you can see, this is where it didn't fit. This is where the hard drive, this was the CD drive. This is where the 3.5 1 terabyte hard drive was. With this bent out, I could not get this to come into here. And even when I did bend it to get it to fit, it was such a fat graphics card this way that it kept pushing the RAM out because it kept hitting the secure locks, pushing them out. So, out of frustration, what I had to do was bend this housing out of the way to make room for this, just to fit. And then in order to get it inside the housing, I had to, squeeze this inwards like this to give it room to go behind the click housing so it wouldn't push the RAM out. So now, like I said, the other issue outside of that was the power supply. These power supplies on the old Dell Optiplexes did not have the 8-pin clip needed to run this graphics card, which takes the 8-pin. So, 50 bucks later, I get myself the EVGA 450 watt bronze, all right? That came with all new wires and the proper 8-pin to house this in there and get everything to run. So 50 bucks on a power supply to get rid of this thing, and then another 35 bucks to change the case because I destroyed this bad boy and this has to go bye-bye. Now this is the Rose Hill black with window, 2 fans. And now this bad boy came with its own set of issues. I thought I was purchasing a mid tower. I ended up buying a mini ATX. This was the RAM that was in it, and because of still using the same Dell motherboard, you see here, I still have the same issue with the graphics slot and those 4 RAMs that I put right here. And a lot of my knowledge came from a friend of mine, SpaceXowBoy. I'll drop a link to his channel in the description. And if you guys are finding any of this useful, please give this a thumbs up, please. I really appreciate it. And drop a comment down for if you're getting anything useful out of this. Tell me what you're finding interesting in here. I would love to answer some questions. But this is the power supply, the EVGA 450 watt bronze power supply. Came with the ATX cables that allowed me to plug in the graphics card. Now, the issue, like I said, was that the graphics card, if I did my research, would have worked. So here's what we had to do. Still works and everything is fine. Just took a little shimmy action, right? Just a little shimmy action. So you take the cables, you move it out the way. And what you see here is you put this in, you get your Tetris game on. That sound you're hearing is just the coating on the cables. It's not like anything really breaking. And then you put this in, and it goes in, but then you have to clamp your RAM back in, all right, and move it behind the buttons. And now that it's clicked in, your RAM doesn't pop out, and you can secure that right into the system. And one thing I like about this is the small form factor of the case. But I did not know it was going to fit because I didn't know I purchased a mini. Now we have ourselves a gaming PC. And one of the things I want to do with you guys that I've been saving till the end, check this out, check this out. I've been saving it for you guys. I'm gonna do this peel. It's not an apple peel, but hey, it's something. First time I did it, it's coming off. Everything's ready. Mind you, I did have this plugged in so I could test it, make sure I wasn't doing another fail video. But we're gonna pop this bad boy on. Upside down, obviously, because I don't know how I'm doing it. Bam. Boom. Gonna lock that in place with these 2 twist screws. Bang. And this is our gaming computer. Time to hook it up. A couple of things I had to tell you before I could call this a complete project was inform you guys that you have to do some modification to the Dell motherboard. In order for you to have front I/O, at least depending on the case, the Dell motherboard is a proprietary motherboard. It only allows for their fans or specific fans and certain connections the way they laid it out because it's for business. That's kind of why I ran into some of the issues. So in order to, like, let's say get 2 of the front USB ports to work, I had to remove a couple of pin cap connectors so that the new pins could fit, like this 3. Hey, I wanted to correct myself. The pin protector parts that I removed were not for the front I/O. I needed to remove those to connect like certain fans or certain LEDs or certain powers to the fans and things like that. The front I/O was specifically because the Dell motherboard, where their PCI 3 port is connects, my graphics card is too big. I could solve this whole issue by buying another graphics card. If I would have did research and just bought a smaller graphics card that was a little bit more powerful to give me the same performance, I probably wouldn't have run into the issue, and it'd probably be a lot easier build for you guys. You probably won't have to bend any Dell Optiplex cases out of the way to make it work, but that was just something I had to go through, and I wanted to share that. Right here, and this other one that has like 6 in it. Specifically, this fan that came with the new Rose Hill case did not fit the motherboard, given I needed the other plugs to fit the other things. So with taking out that fan, I replaced it with the Dell Optiplex fan. I kept that one because that fit perfectly. You took out the speaker plug for the Rose Hill case. I don't know. There's a couple of things I'm sure I need, like a temperature thing on here, which I don't have. But it's a gaming computer under 500 and it works. In order for the LEDs to work and things like that, do a little bit of research. You won't run into some of these issues. If you don't care about the RGB or the LED lights in there really displaying, then you might not have to do any motherboard modification, but modification is really just me pulling off the pin cap protectors so that they don't bend. Otherwise, everything still plugs in. I couldn't really show you that. I ended up putting it together before capturing it. So now it's time for the final reveal. All right, so as promised, let's take a look at some gameplay. This is Call of Duty, and for a computer under $500, let's see how we do. We got the Dell Optiplex transferred into the Rose Hill case. That Dell Optiplex was $260. Got the GTRS graphics card for $110. Got the Rose Hill case for $35, and the power supply for $50. Everything is right around $450, $455. And here we are playing a 100 gig game, Call of Duty Warzone, on a Dell Optiplex motherboard, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a couple of fans, and some cheap peripherals. I don't know. Let's just do one of these real quick. Alright guys, thanks for watching my video. That is how I turned an old work computer into a $500 gaming PC. There is one thing I did that I didn't show in the video, and that was buy an SSD. It's a 120 gig SSD. I got it for 20 bucks on Amazon. What I use for that is just my operating system. I transferred my entire operating system onto the SSD, and I transferred the Adobe Premiere and the Photoshop. What that does is allows me to have the system boot a little bit quicker and reserve my whole 1 terabyte hard drive for storage. So when I'm editing videos, playing games, I know things are going to run smoothly. And if you felt this video was interesting or you got some useful information, please like the video, subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And if you got any questions, drop it down in the comments. Other than that, I'll leave a link in the description for everything that I showed here. Along with, I'm gonna link my friend's YouTube channel, SpaceXowBoy. He's the one that I went to for research. He also builds computers, and he might be something you want to watch. Other than that, again, thank you guys. I appreciate the love, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.